Yes. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and get started. You can watch me argue with my presentation a little bit more. All right, so this activity today is going to be super hands-on. You are going to be doing most of the work. You're going to be doing most of the heavy lifting. So I hope that you are excited and enthralled to join us here. Today we are going to be doing a choose your own adventure, which means you are in control of what you learn for the digital learning standards for students. So before we jump in, the presentation link is at the top, and I also threw it in the chat. It's bit.ly/3ZG uppercase Q, lowercase y, and a 0, and no, that's a lowercase o, and a 2. So it may be easier for you to access in the chat, but you will need to be in the presentation in order to participate today. Let me grab this link one more time and throw it in the chat. And you will probably, I'm driving myself today, so I usually have a facilitator with me, but my typical teammate that helps me out was busy. So you'll have to be patient with me, but we will get through this. I dropped it in the chat. And again, that presentation link is going to stay up on the top for the first few slides. So if you miss it now, it is a-okay, not a big deal. My name is Lindsey Sipe. I am the Southwest Regional Consultant for Digital Teaching and Learning for NCDPI. My email address is listed here. You don't have to write this down. I have it as like one of the last slides too. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I am always happy to hear your thoughts and engage with those of you out in the field. So please do not hesitate to reach out to me. All right, so before we get started, again, presentation link is up top. So it's that bit.ly 3, lowercase z, lowercase g, uppercase q, lowercase y, lowercase o, 2. So there is a chat button. So if you have anything in the chat, feel free to drop it in. Because there are so few of us, you can actually just unmute yourself and ask your question. That's totally fine with me. There's a raise hand button. Again, just unmute yourself if you have any questions or need anything. Feel free to turn your camera on or off. Whatever is more comfortable for you is more comfortable for me. So it is totally up to you. Mute and unmute yourself. You can see that little microphone icon there. And then we have that leave button, which is bye. So if you want to leave me, that is going to be the button you press. Hopefully not until the end. All right. So does anybody have any issues with the link to or hearing or seeing the presentation right now? Okay, all right, we're gonna do a quick getting to know you activity. If you are in the presentation, you can actually just click on the Google Jamboard. And if you are not in the presentation, that's fine. I will drop that Jamboard right here. What we are going to do, okay, we've got anonymous alligator in the house, and some kind of bird, kiwi, and a hedgehog, cool. So it looks like most of you are getting settled in there. You are going to pick a year. So 2019, come on, mouse, 2020, or 2021. So you pick a year. Doesn't matter if everybody picks the same year. It's totally fine. You're going to come over here. You're going to grab a sticky note, and you're going to type in your name and a word that represents this year, that year that you chose. So I'm going to do clueless because we didn't know it was coming. And then you can also add a picture in if you would like. So a good Google image search is perfect. Clueless. Let's see if we can get a good, there we go. That's exactly what I was hoping for the movie. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stick my picture right by my name and the word. So we're going to take about 5 minutes to do this. And then because there are so few of you, we actually might take an opportunity for everybody to unmute themselves and say your name and where you're from and your position, as well as why you chose that word and that picture. So if you are having any issues getting into the Jamboard, please let me know, and I will gladly help you get it in there. You can drop it in the chat if that works best for you, or you can unmute yourself if you need some help. So go ahead and grab a sticky and get started. The stickies are here if you need one. You can also just do a text box if you'd rather. Or if you're more art inclined, you could even write your name with your mouse, which is one of the most challenging things in the world to do, I think.
Will you please repeat the instructions?
I gladly will. So you are going to come, are you on the Jamboard? Okay, so if you are on the Jamboard, you are going to grab a sticky note over here. So this is the sticky note. You're going to grab a sticky note once you pick a year, and then you're going to add your name.
Okay, hang on. Show me where to grab the sticky note, because I went over to the Jamboard, so then I can't see what you were doing.
So if you look at the sidebar on the left, it's right underneath the cursor button, that select button that shows the mouse cursor. It's kind of like a box with some writing in it, just like a little itty bitty sticky note.
Okay. Okay, so got the sticky note. Now what do we do?
Okay, so you're going to put your name on it, and you're going to put a word that represents how you felt that year. So if you pick 2019, you're going to put how you felt in 2019. If you pick 2020, you're going to put over here your sticky note of how you felt in 2020, or how you're feeling in 2021. So just one word, and you can do a picture if you'd like. And it looks like most of us just put it on 2019, which is totally fine. So we can all just go off of there. All right, so I will go ahead and get started. So if you are still working, please keep working and take your time, no pressure at all. So I picked 2019, and again, my name is Lindsay, and I put clueless. Like, we really didn't know what was coming on the horizon. So, and then I did a picture of the movie Clueless because it's as classic as a teeny bopper movie can be. Who would like to share next?
I'll go ahead if that's okay.
Yeah, would love it.
Okay. I'm Carrie Spivey, and I said I am excited for a new year, new adventures, keeping new technology, and I should have said that works. But I'm excited for this coming school year.
I love it. So that's great. Like, kind of in a groove, got some cool technology that worked well for you. Keeping that and going with the flow. Hopefully, not too many bumps, right?
Right.
Or mountains like Mount Everest last year. All right. Who else wants to share?
I can go. I'm Sonia, and I chose the year 20. Well, it's actually supposed to be 2020, but it was an adventurous year. I think COVID opened up other doors of opportunity virtually for us, where we could reach even further. So I'm excited for what the future holds.
Love it. I love your optimistic view on all things up and coming. Who else wants to share? Don't we all just love online wait time? It's like the most awkward thing in the world.
I'll go next. My name is Sylvania Curtis. I put down 2020, and I put down it was unprecedented. It was just, everything was just out of the ordinary. We had to learn how to use Canvas. We had to learn how to teach everything completely online because it was different from the way we began in 2019. It was more normalcy as far as each having to do grades the way we normally do it versus the way we were working on it in 2019 at the end of the year when everything happened.
Unprecedented might be the word of the year, maybe of the decade. I'm not sure. Thank you for sharing. Would anybody else like to go? And it's totally fine if you are not comfortable sharing. All right, I am going to take your silence as a vote for not wanting to share, which is totally fine. All right, let's go ahead and get back to our adventure that we're starting today. So today we're going to be talking about the digital learning standards for students. So those are ISTE standards that have been adopted by the state of North Carolina. For those of you with your camera on, are you familiar? Can you raise your hand or give me a thumbs up if you're familiar with the digital learning standards for students, or in the chat if you would like to drop in if you are familiar. So Carrie's familiar. Okay, so great. It looks like some of you are familiar. So you can see that we have different, 7 different components of the digital learning standards for students. We have the empowered learner, digital citizen, knowledge constructor, innovative designer, computational thinker, creative communicator, and global collaborator. Excuse me. My tongue's getting super twisted. So if you actually click on this picture, it will take you to the ISTE standards for students, and you can actually click on it, and it will break down each standard and each subcomponent of the standard. The really nice thing about this ISTE site is there are videos that go in depth explaining each one of these components, or you can watch all of the videos together, which gives you a really nice overview of what each standard means for students. My mouse is not playing well with Google today. I hope you all don't get seasick on me here. Perfect. So that is a great resource for you if you have any questions or need some ideas, there's a lot of different information that is shared in there. We also have the Digital Teaching and Learning, Digital Learning Standards for Students website. So I'm going to click on that so you can take a peek at it as well. This is posted by my division, the Division of Digital Teaching and Learning, and it gives a nice overview of the ISTE standards for North Carolina students. You can see it also gives parent resources. There is an FAQ. There is a crosswalk, so the connections between National Library Standards, the digital learning competencies, social and emotional learning, and English language arts as well. This next one is probably my favorite. This is a grade band indicator, and these are just samples. So if we open one of these guys up, it is going to give you some indicator samples. So here's the digital learning standard, gives a breakdown and articulation of the standard, and then it gives you some different samples or things that you might do to meet the needs of those standards. So these are just samples, definitely not anything and everything that you could get with being creative and using these in your classroom. So it is not the end all be all, but it may be helpful for you while you work on your way. And then I shared that grade band indicator here as well. We're going to actually refer to that grade band indicator quite a bit today. So before we jump in and start our own learning, I am just going to go over these different standards for the digital learning standards. So the first one we have is Empowered Learner, where students leverage technology and they start making an active role in choosing, achieving, and demonstrating their competency and their goals, and they're informed by learning sciences. So they're using their data to set goals, they're building networks, on and on. I'm going to show you a really cool video in just a little bit, and it's going to give you a really nice overview and go, well, it's just a bit more fun than I am reading these out loud to you. Next up, we have Digital Citizen, which we know is so important right now, especially in the world that we're living in. So this mostly focuses on students recognizing the rights, responsibilities, and opportunities of working in a digital world. And they're acting and modeling in safe and legal and ethical practices that make for a good digital citizen at all times. And then you can see the subcomponents down here where it dives a little bit deeper into what each of those components are to make a great digital citizen. Then we have the Knowledge Constructor, where students critically curate a variety of resources using digital tools to construct their own knowledge, make creative artifacts, and make meaningful learning experiences for themselves and for others. So they're really starting to be in charge of their own knowledge at this point, and making choices that work best for their learning styles. Innovative Designer, students using a variety of different technologies within the design process to identify and solve problems by creating new, useful, or imaginative solutions. So some things that come top of mind to me would be, giving students a project and students jumping into a maker kind of environment to come up with a solution, giving them a problem, and they're coming up with a creative solution and learning more in depth that way. Then we have Computational Thinker, which is where students are developing and employing strategies for understanding and solving problems. And they're using the technological methods to develop and test solutions. So this is a bit more complex. So if we think about this in the way of coding, like students trying to solve a problem with a robot, and then them testing and developing new solutions if those codes don't work immediately until they get the right algorithm or code. My apologies for my ring app going off. And if you hear my dogs barking, it's because my husband's walking in the door, sorry. Next up, we have Creative Communicator, And this is where students communicate clearly and express themselves creatively for a variety of purposes using different platforms, tools, styles, and digital media that meet the needs with their goals that they have set. Global collaborators up next. So students are using digital tools to broaden their perspective and enrich their learning by collaborating with others locally and globally, which is the beautiful thing about the internet, right? That makes that obtainable for us when it was previously unobtainable. So those are the 7 standards. I'm going to show you this video, which is a much more fun way to hear about the digital learning standards.
Shout out to all my 21st century learners out there. You know how we do it. Let's go. Yo, number 1, I'm an empowered learner. I set goals and pursue them with fervor. My learning is up to me, it's not passive. My brain learns best when I am digitally proactive. Number 2, I'm a digital citizen. I stay safe on all the sites that I'm visiting. I use technology to make a difference. With power comes responsibility. You digging it? I'm a knowledge constructor. Number 3, I carefully select and evaluate what I read. Curate media also brilliantly, and I think critically about source validity. 4, I'm an innovative designer. That means I solve problems, major and minor. Start with empathy, ideate, then prototype. Test and iterate, that method is so nice. I'm a computational thinker. 5, improving any process that I can find. Writing algorithms and testing in beta. Analyzing to find the trends in the data. I'm a creative communicator, that's 6. Like I put this in a rap song to make it sick. I could use different media or tools like infographics to get my point through. 7, I'm a global collaborator. I might connect with students way over the equator. Digital tech makes the dream come true. Had a virtual field trip with a kid in Peru. That's 7 ways that I can be a lifelong learner in the 21st century. What kind of student do I want to be? It's my path, that's up to me. That's 7 ways that I can be a lifelong learner in the 21st century. What kind of student do I want to be? It's my path, that's up to me.
Okay, so they do a much better job of explaining the digital learning standards than I do, and put it in a way that you'll probably remember a bit better too. But that doesn't hurt my feelings, that's just reality. Okay, so what we're going to do today, we are going to take the opportunity to hopefully have 3 rounds of 20-minute exploration. So essentially what you're going to do is you are going to, if you're not on the presentation yet, you need to get on the presentation. You are going to go onto the presentation and you are going to hit, sorry, let's see. Oh, come on. You are going to hop on that presentation, which looks like most of you are on, and you're going to hit present. And then when you go to present, you get to skip through all of this mess here. And you're going to start here. So you're going to click on the name of the standard that interests you from the video or from when I was speaking below. So something that caught your eye. So for now, I am just going to pretend I'm you, and I'm going to click on Digital Citizen. And you can see that I come to the Digital Citizen screen. And we have 3 different levels here. We have a beginner level, a novice level, and a ready for more. So with the beginner level, you're literally just going to dive in and learn about the fundamental of each digital learning standard. For the novice, you are going to start to do a little bit more. So each one of these components, one of these standards, has the 3 different components. So you're going to start to dive in a little bit more and think about how to connect this with your classroom and give some different examples. And then the ready for more, you know all there is to know about digital citizenship, and you are ready to just dive in and share what you're going to do in regards to making your students better digital citizens this upcoming year. So let's say I am a beginner. So you're going to see that there are 3 parts. So the first part is a video and an article. So I tried to give you multiple ways to view the media. So if you like to watch videos to take things in, that's awesome. Watch the video. If you would rather read to learn and take things in better that way, that's perfect. Read the article. If you would like to do both, because that's how you work, I would probably do that. Go ahead and watch the video and the article and read the article. And once you do that, you're going to come over to part 2, and you're going to click on the grade band document that I showed you that had some samples. And then you're going to start to brainstorm what digital citizenship looks like and ideas that will help you on your journey to help your students become better digital citizens. I'm fighting with my mouse so much today. This is craziness. And then what you're going to do is you have an activity here. So you're going to add your vision and ideas to the Jamboard that's selected. So when I click on the Jamboard here, you can see the question here in the middle, brainstorm what digital citizenship looks like and ideas that will help you on your journey to empowering learners to become better digital citizens. So you're going to grab a sticky note and you're going to brainstorm what this is going to look like for your students, or what you may teach them. So once you are finished with part 2, you're going to come over to part 3, and you're going to read this question, which is, how will you assist students in gaining a firm understanding of the importance of managing digital identities in positive ways? What ideas do you have? So now you're going to click on this link. It's going to take you to a Padlet. And you're going to come over here. You can see that this column is the digital citizenship column. And you're going to type in how you're going to assist students in gaining a better understanding about being a better digital citizen, or just a digital citizen, period. So you're going to click that plus button and you're going to add your comments here. So you're going to get 20 minutes to do that. Now, if you start to preview one, so let's say you start to preview Digital Citizen and then you're like, that one's not for me. I already do that, or I need to think about something else first. You're just going to click that Go Home button, and then you can go to another section. So Computational Thinker. Again, we have Beginner, Novice, and Ready for More. So it has those same 3 components that you choose from. We hit Ready for More. You're still going to see a part 1. It's going to have a different video and a different article. Part 2, it has some list of resources for you to explore. And then part 3 is to share for this one. And then when you're ready, we will hit Go Back Home. So I know this is a lot to take in a little bit of time, and you guys are probably all having a bit of a lunch lull right now. So while you all get sorted and get started and get yourself to slide 16 of this presentation, do we have any questions? You can post those in the chat, or you can post those, or you can just unmute yourself and ask the questions. So we're going to choose one. You're going to have 20 minutes to explore. I'm going to mention while you're exploring and doing the activities, I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull up the different components of what you're working on to try to interact with you from my computer as you are putting things in from your computer. Questions as we get started? Okay, so I see no questions. I'm going to hit this very cute Minecraft 20-minute timer. and it's automatically going to stop when I go to a different slide. So I'm also going to do it on my phone, just to be cautious here. So I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes. We may only have time for 2 rounds, and that is okay. All right, so I've got 20 minutes. So go ahead and go to slide 16. Choose your standard that you want to learn more about. And then choose if you're a beginner, a novice, or ready for more. And then you're going to start by watching your videos and articles, and then doing the different activities that are listed here. All right. Thumbs up if you're good. Carrie's the only one I can see. So Carrie's good. All right. Ready, set, go. I'm going to turn that down because nobody wants to listen to this Minecraft music. And I'm going to mute myself as well. So that you can carry on without me in the background. And I will bring us all together in 20 minutes. It looks like only one person is active on the slide deck right now, so I just want to make sure that everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing and has a clear understanding of what our goals are and can get to those. So if you need help, just unmute yourself and let me know. That's what I'm here for. Carrie, which standard are you looking at? Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Innovative designer.
To the degradation of dopamine-producing neurons
And
in the brain. Though we can't
I'm looking
actually
at the
induce
YouTube
Parkinson's,
video.
but we can use a neurotoxin to try to simulate those Parkinson's,
Where the sound is coming from.
which were our neurological. We had experimental groups, control groups, and really kind of looking at the timing of that estrogen exposure.
There we go. Lindsey, could you hear me? Could you hear me?
Oh, say that one more time.
Sorry, I didn't know if you heard me. The innovative designer.
Awesome. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay. I was just watching the YouTube videos and then stealing the links from the YouTube videos because I'll be doing this kind of thing with my teachers as soon as they come back in August.
You can have this whole presentation and use it however you want.
Wonderful. That was going to be one of my questions. Could I do that?
Absolutely.
Great. And you're recording it, so I can grab that link and play it back and that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. That is what we're here for.
Great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Right.
I don't know what that is. Is that exact path? Ed Mental? You doing Ed Mental? Oh, social studies weekly.
I'm trying to get my stuff. I will finish with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome back, Miles. We've got about 2 minutes before we come back together. If you would go ahead and click on slide 14, and I will drop the link to the presentation in the chat. That should give you almost enough time to watch the video that's on there explaining the digital learning standards for students. And that's on slide 14. And feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions. We've got about 1 minute remaining. All right. So it looks like time is up. So we're going to come back together and just have a very quick discussion about what you found. So again, it's a super small group of people, so please unmute if you feel comfortable doing so. If not, you can also use the chat feature and share that way. So the first question I have for you is, what standard did you explore? Does somebody want to share what standard they explored? And then tell us a little bit more about what you learned, anything that surprised you, and what you'll take back to your classroom. We're going to take just a few minutes to share out this way. And you might not have gotten to the activities, and that's totally fine, as long as you were able to dig down a little bit deeper into those standards. Wait time online is so hard.
I will go. I looked into Digital Citizen.
Perfect.
I looked at the information on that. I liked one of the examples that they showed was a teacher having, and I know this would be more appropriate for higher grade levels, where she allowed them to take out their phones and look at the different apps that they were using and looking at, and they were able to see what information that they were allowing these apps to access on their phones, and that was surprising for them. I thought that was a good example. I teach 5th grade. For me, excuse me, the respect factor, sorry, losing my voice here.
No, you're fine. I understand.
The respect factor, I do begin the school year, I do begin each school year with going over our rules for how the use of the computers, but I also do a little contract with them for discussing how to use their school email as well as how to use Canvas, letting them know this is their business, this is their job. Their job is getting an education, and the things that they should have and should not have, the types of the way they speak to each other, how to communicate with the teacher, their classmates. That is something that I do generally the beginning of every school year, and that's something I have the students sign as well as have their parents sign, so they can understand these are their expectations of how you are to use your school email, and if you want to communicate about birthday parties and things of that nature, that's something that's to be done on, not in your business email or your in class discussion. That's to be held on a personal forum that you've agreed to use with your parents. But I did so the respect, the digital communication, and the digital responsibilities we do go through. But what really stood out for me was the example that she gave with the use of the phones. Now, because I'm dealing with fifth graders, that's probably information that I would do better with sharing with their parents and having their parents discuss it with them. But that was the main thing that stood out for me for what I saw and read.
Absolutely, that is wonderful. And like, I feel like fifth grade is that pivotal year, right? Like, you know, after they leave you, when they get to middle school, you know, they might dive deeper, but just setting that tone and that example for them will hopefully provide them with a lifetime understanding of business versus personal and having to have that divide. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else want to share? Okay, so it looks like Carrie's frozen. Hopefully she's not frozen in real life, just on the screen. So I wanted to do brain breaks with you all, but, well, let's go ahead and do a brain break. So I have 3. And again, you might have heard me tell Carrie, what's mine is yours. So if you want to make a copy of this presentation, you are more than welcome to it. I've made 3 quick brain break activities. So I have this or that, ready, set, go, find it, which is just like a very quick virtual scavenger hunt. And then we also have yoga math time. So I'm going to do this or that just because it's a little bit quicker than the other ones, but maybe not as fun. So if you wouldn't mind turning your camera on, it doesn't matter what your hair looks like. This is literally going to be for a minute, and it is going to go to a new presentation. And we are just going to this or that and do thumbs up or thumbs down on these different items. So I'm not seeing any cameras on. Oh. Hello, perfect. All right, so what we are going to do, if you are super uncomfortable with turning your camera on, you can also type into the chat thumbs up or thumbs down. So the first one we're going to do is Coke or Pepsi. And we're going to do a thumbs up for Coke, thumbs down for Pepsi. Not because Pepsi's thumbs down, but just because it was right to left. No right answer here. So if you like Coke, thumbs up. If you like Pepsi, thumbs down. And that should just be a regular Pepsi. I don't know what Pepsi Max is, so you'll have to forgive me for that. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, thumbs up, thumbs down. Ooh, look, I feel like most people in North Carolina are Pepsi drinkers. I'm glad to know I'm in good company. All right, we're going to do stand up or hunker down for this one. So if you prefer the beach, you're going to stand up. And if you prefer the mountains, you're going to hunch down. All right, so ready? 3, 2, 1, stand up for the beach. Oh, you guys, we could go on vacation and drink Coke together at the beach. It'd be perfect. All right, so this or that. We are going to show our face if we would rather be out and about and hiking and doing active things, or we're going to hide our face the best we can if we would rather be hunkered inside reading a book or watching a movie or watching a show. So face in or face out. So ready? 3, 2, 1. You turned your camera off. That was way smarter than me trying to get down low. Love it. All right, this or that. Pumpkin pie or cake. If you would prefer pie, camera on. If you prefer cake, camera off. So camera on for pie, camera off for cake. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Love it. And last one, fall or winter. We are going to do hands up for fall, hands down for winter. Ready? 3, 2, 1. guys. Thank you for participating with me. And Carrie said her screen first. Well, Carrie, I'm glad that you didn't freeze in real life. It's all that matters. Thank you for joining me for that quick break. Sometimes it just kind of helps, break things up and get everybody re-engaged. So this Ready, Set, Go, Find It is literally just a countdown, and then it says something shiny, something light, something heavy. So you just have people run around and go look for those things. And then yoga math time is similar. So you do a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to do your pose, tree pose. And then you're going to show your math problem, 8 times 6. And then you have to stay in that pose until somebody answers it correctly, which is great if you are trying to work in those math facts with students. So you are more than welcome to have at those and use those as you see fit. All right, so we have time for a quick round, one more quick round of the digital learning standards, which is on slide 16 again. So this time I'm going to actually give you 10 minutes, which maybe will only let you watch the video and read the article, but that's okay. I want to give you plenty of time to go through and make sure you get scanned in and make sure you have time for feedback and maybe give a couple of minutes of time back to you because I know time is so valuable right now. So if you wouldn't mind popping back into the presentation, and I can share that link again. Wow, my mouse, well, maybe I just need a new mouse actually. I was gonna say it needs a timeout, but I might just need a new mouse. So let me share that one more time. I'm gonna copy and paste it. And I know this is coming from like a weird name, but it's me just on my other computer. All right, so go ahead, take 10 minutes to dive into one more learning standard, and you're not going to be able to get into the activities, that's okay. Watch the video, read the article, and then we'll come back together and discuss, and then we will get all closed out. So I have my timer set for 10 minutes, and I will tell you when it is time for us to come back together. Does anybody have any questions? Awesome. All right, I will see you in about 9 minutes and 41 seconds. But I am here if you have any questions in the meantime. You can just put them in the chat or unmute yourself. Hi again, Miles. We are on slide, well, we are in the presentation, and you can choose, you're going to go to slide 16 and choose a standard and start to explore it. We've got about 7 minutes left to explore it. Let me know if you have any questions. Just wanted to give you a time check-in. You have exactly 5 minutes remaining.
The slide number you're working on again, Miss Lindsey.
Okay, let's come back together and wrap up and share out. So if you wouldn't mind, somebody wouldn't mind unmuting and share what resource or digital learning standard you focused on this time, and if you found something that you are excited to bring back to your classroom. I have really good wait time. I was the elementary teacher. But virtual wait time is a little bit harder than actually looking into the eyes of those beautiful little children and waiting. Just share what learning standard you went through this last round, and anything that stood out to you or anything you're excited to take back to your classroom.
I don't know if you can hear me, Lindsay, but my computer has completely frozen. I can hear you and I can see the screen.
Looking at your face like that the whole time.
I know. And I'm like, how do I get rid of that? I look so mad and mean. Anyway, it's been crazy. But I don't have a classroom, but I have teachers I will be sharing all of this with. And like I said before, I want to steal your whole presentation. So it's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you are more than welcome. So anybody that is on the call right now, or if you have somebody that you want to share it with for them to facilitate through it, you are more than welcome to have it. And reach out to me if you have any questions about facilitating this process. I will say the more people you have on this, the better it is, because you can actually go through and see people working in the Jamboards and in the Flipgrids and in the Padlets, and you can, add comments and feedback during that time, that 20-minute work time. But you're more than welcome to have it. All right, so a couple of resources for you. A lot of them we went through at the beginning. So the Digital Learning Standards for North Carolina, the DPI Google site, and that has links to the grade band document we went through in the crosswalk with English language arts and other components, as well as the Canvas course. So this Canvas course, you can actually enroll yourself in and do a deeper dive into the digital learning standards for students. So that is a really great resource if you have the time to do it. So I encourage you to jump in there. Again, this is my contact information. So Lindsey Sipe at DPI. And I am going to pull the code off. So go ahead and scan that if you are able to. And then if you have any trouble, I will also, that chat, sorry. So you can scan that. And I will give you a minute to do that, because I know that, for me at least, I get bumped out of the Presentation Matters app every time and have to log back in through NCBOLD. And maybe that's just my luck. Maybe y'all get in there immediately, which means you have much better luck than I do. And then last but not least, if you wouldn't mind giving me some feedback, I would really enjoy that and appreciate it. And perfect. Carrie, work for you. I know that the feedback wasn't working because Qualtrics was down for just a minute for the last session, but it should be up and working now. We got an email saying everything was A-okay and working just fine. So if you wouldn't mind giving me some feedback, I would really appreciate it. Again, you're more than welcome to make a copy of this, add it to your drive. It's not going anywhere. It'll stay in my drive forever. So if you want to add it to your drive and make a copy, you are more than welcome to do so. And I will stay on if you have any questions or if you need anything at all. But I really appreciate your time, even in the lunchtime lull. I know this time of day is really hard. But I appreciate your time and you're engaging with me. And I hope you got some good bits and pieces of the digital learning standards for students. And I hope you're excited to jump in on your own. Thanks for hanging out with me.
It was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me know if you need anything.
I sure will. I will. Thank you.
Yeah.